It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Now, here's Joe Concha.
And let's bring in our VIP guest of the hour. That, of course, is Sebastian Gorka, Deputy Assistant to the President, Senior Director for Counterterrorism, National Security Council, and a funny guy, actually. Sebastian, no one gives you enough credit for your sense of humor and realizing that when you're done working for the government, working for the Trump administration, protecting this country, that you will be the next Bond villain.
I don't know about that. I think they're looking for a new James Bond, aren't they? Because the last guy was so incredibly crap. So whether it's Commander Bond or the next Blofeld, we shall see. We shall see.
You would be a good Bond, actually. So you weren't a big fan of Daniel Craig. Who's your favorite Bond? I guess that's probably an obvious answer. You're going to say Sean Connery, but I kind of was a Roger Moore guy. But then again, Connery was before our time. So I don't know. Would you go Moore, or is there a surprise pick here?
Well, look, let's start with Craig. Craig was a disaster.
Oh, boy.
As the critical drinker, one of the best popular culture reviewers on YouTube said, he never looked like he was enjoying himself. How that is a man's dream, okay? Every guy who's not low T wants to be James Bond, and you look like you hate actually playing him. So a disaster. Now, you're right, we're of a similar vintage. I think I'm a little bit older than you, but I grew up in the age of Moore. I think The Spy Who Loved Me, absolutely rollicking good fun.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go back to the original Ian Fleming novels, it's got to be Sean. Sean has that edge of lethality. You can believe he's going to not just, bed every woman he wants to, but he'll kill you with his pruning knife from his Swiss Army tool. So and I think if you compare the best, the most fun one, Goldfinger, without a doubt. The most classic Fleming-esque one has got to be From Russia with Love. So I'll go with Sean.
Okay.
But I'm glad we're talking about the important stuff today.
Exactly. No, see, that's what you get on this show. A Sunday morning, maybe you're having a liquid brunch right now, and you find this conversation to be the kind of conversation you would have over a liquid brunch. So we appreciate Sebastian Gorka joining us. Somebody else I wouldn't want to be, besides Daniel Craig after that scathing review, is Hakeem Jeffries, because he's having a tough week. We have a Democrat shutdown going on, and the sombreros just keep coming now, don't they? And it's funny because the first Trump administration, which you were also in, you're one of the rare people, if not the only person, I think, to be a part of both administrations.
No, me and Navarro and Miller. Don't forget.
That's right. And, of course, Stephen Miller. Yes, who was quite ubiquitous on cable news these days and everywhere else for that matter. So 3 out of, many, many dozens are back for Trump 2.0. But I think the first administration, maybe they were a little sensitive to the criticism from CNN, MSNBC, New York Times. Now you're just laughing in their faces and saying, yeah, all right, you know what? You're mad about the sombrero on Hakeem Jeffries. Guess what? We're going to keep them coming. There's going to be more. They're playing him in the White House briefing room. It's just amazing. So just comment on that as far as like the attitude of the Trump administration and the fact that the way they're mocking Democrats right now seems to be getting to them pretty badly.
Look, just a hat tip to the press team, where there's another twice round presidential appointee, Stephen Chung. So whether it's Taylor Budowich, whether it's Stephen Chung, whether it's Caroline, this is a very different press team. In the first administration, it was like getting past the gatekeepers as a politically commissioned officer of the president to go on TV or radio. I mean, it was almost an impossibility. This time around, they want us out there. They want us destroying CNN. They want us. I don't know if you saw my video with Politico. I did not want to be on that stage with their White House correspondent. I did it as a favor to the comms team because they said, go there and destroy them. And it is perhaps one of my most viral and fun videos out there. Look, we've come to a realization they're not journalists. There's about 6 real journalists in America. None of them work for CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times, HuffPo or Politico. And we are here to illuminate them for the propaganda hacks and prostitutes for the Democrat Party they are. And that's why the memes. And look, you know what's amazing? The left still doesn't know how to meme. We are the cool kids. That response to the Hakeem, AI video post the president put up that they did of J.D. Vance, it is like, it makes them look like complete cretins. So, yeah, this is a very different administration. And let me tell you one thing. If it's not obvious to everyone out there, we are having a lot of fun. I walk around the White House 14 hours a day with the widest grin you have ever seen on my face because we are getting stuff done, but we're also having fun, Joe.
That's the thing. The Republican Party, Sebastian, they're the cool, fun guys. And, it used to be old, stuffy, white Republican country club, kind of portrayal. And Democrats were seen as like, the cool, young party. It's the opposite now. I mean, they're just so angry. And let me play for you this one clip because I think it just says it all. This is a cut 5, Mr. Producer. This will be Hakeem Jeffries really, really upset about this, what he calls a racist video of him in a sombrero. This is cut 5. Go.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't top out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
Say it to my face. That's Cory Booker tough right there, Sebastian.
Yeah, that's Spartacus. But let's just get let's get serious for a second.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk was a friend of mine, and that language demonstrates one very disturbing thing to Americans. The left hasn't learned anything. They haven't learned anything from the 79 million Americans who voted for my boss in November, and they haven't learned anything from their normalization of violence, which led to the assassination of a man who simply wanted to debate people who disagreed with him on college campuses. So there's a deeper issue here. Look, it's good for those who love America because if you are aggressive, if you don't have a sense of humor, if your policy platform during a shutdown is to fund healthcare for illegals, if your policies are on the side of the quote-unquote Maryland father who's a human trafficker member of MS-13, it is good for the conservatives of this nation. But it's also, let me say a crazy thing that may shock you. I dream of a day in America where we have two normal political parties. Right now we've got one and another one that is extremist, radical, self-hating. Can we have two normal parties in America, please, Joe?
No, I remember, Sebastian, we're about the same age, that this is true. And in the 90s, when I was in college, I thought that Bill Clinton was a good before Monica, right? Now, he's not a good person, don't get me wrong, but the fact that he was smart enough to say, all right, if I want to survive politically, then I have to work with Newt Gingrich, and I have to pass all these things like welfare reform and a balanced budget amendment. And they did all those things. And I'm like, I was proud to be part of this country because I saw Republicans and Democrats working together, not bad-mouthing, especially from the Democrat side, like the Eric Swalwells of the world. I mean, I'm telling you, you see all these tweets all day of just snark and hatred. And let me play for you this one clip, actually, because this will be clip 6, guys, as far as Ilhan Omar talking about our friend Charlie Kirk, and it's just in death. This guy was executed with his family right there, and after the fact, this is still her on television talking about Charlie in the most disgusting and dishonest ways I could possibly imagine. Cut 6, go.
I have nothing to apologize for. It is a tragedy that Charlie Kirk was killed in that way. I feel for his widow and his children. They will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. But there is no legacy to honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy.
I mean, he was killed, but, kind of deserved it. Like, that's exactly what she's saying. This is the problem here, Sebastian.
That tells you literally everything you need to know about one of our political parties. If you as a human being can say the sentence, that person was assassinated in front of his family, but it means you have no moral center. But look, to go back to your previous point, I'm no fan of Bill Clinton. He's a lech. He's a disgusting human being. Yeah. But he was sane. And I've said this for years. Where are the sane Democratic leaders? No, they don't exist. You've got the crazies. You've got the America-hating Omars. You've got the crypto-communists like AOC. And the generation above them, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, have genuflected at the altar of their radicalism. There's no Bill Clinton to rein in the crazies, as we saw, in the 1990s, which is straight to your point. So there's no looking in the mirror, reading the room and saying, you know what, calling half of America, bitter clingers, deplorables who just hang on to their guns and Bibles, that you may want to reassess your attitude and your detestation of half of America.
And that was Obama that you're quoting, and then obviously Hillary Clinton. So we're not talking like the Democrats of now. This has been going on for many, many years, post-Bill Clinton, no question. We're talking to Sebastian Gorka. Just personally on this note, Sebastian, before we go, you had a very popular, successful radio show. Whenever I joined, I know that I got more text than like almost any other kind of media presence that I would have. And I'm like, wow, a lot of people are listening to this. You left that to go back to work in the government. Why leave something so lucrative and so, I would imagine self-satisfying, because I love doing radio, and now, here you are working for the government, protecting Americans. I get the overall reason, but was it a hard decision for you, or was it just like a snap of the fingers when the president called you and said, come back and work for me?
No. Look, the only hard thing was when because the president called me, he said, watch my Twitter feed. In about 30 minutes, we're going to make a big announcement, Seb, and you're going to like it. And the only issue is, telling my wife or asking my wife, are you good with this? Because this is a 90% pay cut. And we're going to have to tighten our belts. But, she said, go for it, do it. I've been waiting 26 years for this job. I've been doing counterterrorism theoretically, academically, in the policy world. And now I get to run all the counterterrorism for the most consequential president of the modern era. It doesn't get better than that, Joe. I mean, I don't know what I do next, become a farmer or a poet. My LinkedIn profile will be done. But you do it because you love this country. And somebody asked me, what's your mission, before I came in? And, once I'd been nominated. And I said, very simple, to protect the innocent and deal justice to evildoers. Does it get better than that? Because that's James Bond in real life, Joe.
Yeah. And you brought it back to the beginning of the interview, which that's what a good radio person does. We have a circular conversation. Sebastian Gorka, the farmer. I would pay to see that. That would be very interesting. But they tell me we got to go. So, Sebastian, thanks again for joining us, and keep up the great work. You're doing God's work, quite frankly. Forget Bond. We're going to go above that and go right to the big guy. But, yeah, saving American lives is your job right now, and we couldn't be any more appreciative. So thanks so much.
God bless. Thanks, Joe, and to all the listeners as well.
All right. God bless. All right. Sebastian Gorka, everybody. See, the guy has a great sense of humor, and he brings it every time. Hopefully come back to radio when he's not farming one day, because really he did a great show when he was in between jobs, between the Trump job 1 and the Trump job 2. So go figure. This is Joe Concha. This is the Tunnel to Towers Sunday morning show. Back with more in just a minute.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show.